Hi everyone, Assalamu alaikum, Namaste. Welcome back to Gold Roti. This time we decided to do questions from you guys because we have chosen the topics. But then we decided this time we are going to throw the ball in your court, and we received such an overwhelming response. इतने सारे questions थे कि मैं choose करने में थोड़ा सा वो क्या problem हुआ. But we're gonna keep all the questions and answer maybe later because we're gonna do these impromptus later in future too. Yeah, let Ambreen introduce herself, and then we can jump right into the questions.
Hi, I'm Ambreen. So what Eamon and I did for this month is because we got um, more than a dozen question each, we decided to just pick the top 3 or 4 questions, and then we're gonna ask each other those questions impromptu. So Eamon doesn't know what questions I got, and I don't know what questions she got, because we want to help you out in real time, and we want to give you, answers that are not scripted. And we want to actually just get our most original thought process forward to you guys. So yeah, let's begin.
So it will sound like more like an interview we are taking from each other. And if you have, we are not going to name you guys. We have your questions. We are going to keep everyone anonymous.
Yeah. This
So
may feel like a mini therapy session, so
yes,
this is
yes,
a feel good mini therapy session with Eamon and Ems.
yeah, exciting. Okay. Amreen, the first question I got is a lady was asking, how do you manage time and especially work-life balance? Because she's working 5 days a week, and then, of course, she cannot cook 5 days a week. And then there are cultural expectations from the spouse and the in-laws that, everything has to be perfect. There should be warm meal on the table every day. Um, how to navigate that? Because it always ends up in a fight eventually.
Hmm.
What advice would you give?
But this may not apply to, like, my personal schedule, and what I do may not apply to everybody, for everybody, because sabka personal,
रिलेशनशिप डिफरेंट होता है
cultural,
या
yeah,
डायनामिक्स डिफरेंट होते हैं. Yep.
yeah. But just few things that I try to do is meal prepping if I can. And I'm not saying कि मैं हर हफ्ते कर पाती हूँ, but on a good weekend when I'm not working, I try to cook some meals that I know that the kids and my husband would like, and put them in the fridge. So that's like a good weekend, right? On a not so good weekday or weekend, my husband would either get food from his hospital, or I get food from my hospital. And because we live in Texas, there are a lot of desi restaurants, so हम लोग वहाँ से order कर देते. It's also helpful to know aunties and people around you who cook desi healthy food, like अच्छा घर का पकावा खाना. I don't know about anybody else, but I think idhar udhar, like if you have to do it a couple of times a month, that's okay. You can freeze some of the food. Um, what else? Yeah, I think,
So
but
social
yes,
media पे, like, if you join your local groups of the city, like, a lot of people are, doing this business of selling home cooked meals. So, and there's no harm.
my Facebook Marketplace has like 8 chapatis for $10. I'm like, yes, absolutely, because then I don't have to. I have a KitchenAid and I like making my own rotis, but like, who has the time in real life to actually bale rotis? It's funny because our podcast name is Go Roti, so it's easier to get rotis, and you can make salan or whatever, but it's easier to just buy rotis, at least personally for me. And jहाँ तक husband ki or in-laws ki baat hai, I think the sooner you set that expectation, or the sooner you communicate, the better. Before the kids come in, or while you're engaged, preferably. Okay, this is the husband can either help out with grocery shopping, fixing small meals, cleaning, like doing the dishes. Maybe if you're doing the cooking, then they can do the dishes. So aisa, like, I don't think 50-50 hona chahiye, but
Yeah,
because
helping a
that's
little
not
bit
possible.
doesn't harm. Yes.
But I feel like communication goes a long way, and सबका अपना अपना होता है, but at least talk and say that, this expectation of having a cooked meal every single day on the table when I'm working full time may be a little unreasonable. So where can you meet me? I'll meet you. Like if you have cravings, if you're craving a certain food, I'll cook for you, but I can't like, do it every day.
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Okay, what question you got?
Yeah. So let's see. I got a lot of questions and people were like, please ask Eamon this question. Okay. So the first question is that a woman reached out to me and she said that I have anxiety, my hands sweat, and my heart races thinking and worrying about the future, but I can't tell anyone. My family doesn't believe in mental health, which is like, every DC story, right? Is there any way to manage it without medication?
Well, again, uh, medication is not something you should keep off the table. um, but I understand your dynamics कि आपको family को inform नहीं करना है, because if you go to a psychiatrist and you get prescribed, they would know, they will find out that you're getting treated. और हमारे culture में फिर उसको बहुत taboo है, और फिर वो सर आपको treat करते हैं कि जैसे आप normal ही नहीं है, and you can harm them in some way. I understand your dynamics, but there's no harm in getting therapy. And if even that is not possible, I would suggest, अगर आप वर्क करती हैं तो आपके वर्क प्लेस पे देयर इज अ psychologist which you can talk to, or at least a mentor or some senior who can guide you. And if you don't work and you are a stay at home mom, you must have someone in your social circle you can at least talk to, because talking is also a therapy, especially for us women. It will help you at least say it out loud, because you identify the problem that you are having anxiety and you need some sort of treatment, लेकिन आप medication नहीं लेना चाह रही हो. There's no harm in taking the medication, but I would say try to find some way to at least see a psychotherapist, so you can regulate these thoughts and they can guide you the right way moving forward. You might not need a medication, you just need someone to talk to. But do go to someone. You don't immediately have to tell your spouse or your family, whoever you are hiding it from, parents. I don't know your dynamics, but first figure out things yourself on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. But all good resources. Thank you, Eamon. And if you come across apps or web pages that support this for Desi women, then we'll post them with this video.
For sure. Or if you can just email us, we can post our email on our pages, or you can just private message us on our social media pages. We can connect you to the right resources as well. Okay, Samreen, I got a question for you. Some lady asked how to get over the guilt of leaving her child at daycare or with nanny. Um, she makes money for to give a better future to the kids, but then the society, or just I think general mom guilt, she feels guilty leaving the kid in
Yeah.
care of someone else. How to navigate that, how to deal with that or cope with that?
I actually don't know because I deal with this every day. And it doesn't, no matter what you do, it doesn't go away. And for some reason, it didn't hit me so much with the first kid, but with the second kid, I get that mom guilt every day. I don't know, maybe because I'm older and
But
I,
what I think is maybe because when it's your first child, you give more time to them.
yeah, at
Second, you
home.
think it's
Yeah.
divided, and this kid is
Mm,
being neglected more as compared
yeah.
to the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. See, oh my God. Yes. Yes. I completely agree. The only thing I consciously do is so I have a terrible schedule, right? Like I have a very busy schedule. I work 2 weekends out of a month. So every day in the evening when I'm home, I try to spend one on one quality time with each kid. 30 minutes. I think there's also some study that if you spend 15 to 20 minutes just playing one on one with your kid, then it,
Quality.
it fosters, yeah, it fosters a very, maintains a very strong emotional bond. and they don't miss you all that much. Because my job is new and it's extremely time consuming, I try to, and together with the both kids, play with them, read storybooks, try to put them to sleep, give them a nice warm bath, bring them nice food or make them nice food. Just those little acts of, service every day. But then on weekend, I always try to do something nice for them.
Activity. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's dedicated time with my phone away. My phone is not with me. I usually just give it to my husband, and he carries my phone too. All messages are muted, and I'll take them to the library or the museum, and I'll ask them, where do you want to go, and I'll take them there. So I try to make up the lost time, but do I still feel guilty about it every day? Yeah, yeah, and I guess you just have to learn to accept it, right?
Yep. You just have to learn to accept it. Because I would I would not even down, because being a working mom, um, it's not easy, but that's a strength, and your kids are going to be very proud of you when they grow up, or
Yeah,
at least when they get the sense to understand, oh, my mom is full-time this, or maybe a physician, maybe a corporate lady, whoever you are, they're going to be very proud of you, because not every mom is able to achieve that.
yeah. And for those who don't know, it was Eamon who told me quite assertively that I need to learn how to just drop my kid at the daycare and walk out. Because what I was doing was I was staying there, hovering, looking through the cracks. And of course, my kid was crying. Like, of course, they were anxious. And of course, they were having stranger anxiety. So, me lingering around would make them cry even more. So, it was Eamon who was like, drop them, leave, actually go to your job,
Mhm.
because the more you do it and the more consistent your behavior is, your kid will get over it and will adjust to daycare life or school life more
Yep.
quickly.
And
Yeah.
I think they cry more because they know that you're watching by
Yeah.
leaving them. So
Yeah.
once you're gone,
Yeah.
your teacher can even tell you that they were completely fine all day.
Yeah, crocodile tears, right? Like, and it's also they feel, even if they can't see you, they feel your energy. So now I just say bye bye. I'll see you. I make myself sound very happy, and I think my kid picks up on that.
Wonderful. So what's your next question for me?
Uh, let's see. I have somebody. So these were two or three questions that I combined to ask you one specific
Okay,
question because I got
makes
so
sense.
many. So a couple of women, especially moms from our Desi cultures, want to know how to figure out if your kids are meeting appropriate milestones, because there's so much information out there, but then there's also so much misinformation out there. Autism is a big thing. A lot of kids are now, because of technology and advancement in medicine and science, are being diagnosed early if they're lagging behind anything. And there are a lot of resources. So, how do you navigate and how do you figure out if your child is hitting appropriate milestones versus lagging a little behind,
So let me tell you one thing.
especially
I,
in Desi culture, because
yes.
it's,
So I have three kids, three sons. One of them started walking when he was 7 months old. One of them started walking when he was a year old. One of them started, he's still learning. I have close family members whose kids started walking maybe 14, 15 months. One friend, 18 months. It's completely fine. And right now, you can't even tell which one was walking faster, which one was walking late, because they all are same right now. Everyone is 7-year old, period. Similarly, nobody cares when your kid got that first teeth. Someone got at 3 months, someone got at 6 months, someone got at 9 months. My kid is not sitting yet, but somebody's kid was sitting at 3 months without support. So these are just societal expectations, especially in desi culture. Oh, तुम्हारा बच्चा अभी तक बैठना शुरू नहीं हुआ है. Does not matter. Your kid is not potty trained yet. Does not matter. Eventually we all turn out to be party trained, right? So it's just these milestones. Of course, if something is slow and not going the way it should be, you will know that. You will know, your pediatrician will let you know. But if something is delayed, that's completely fine. Don't over stress about it. Don't worry about it. It's everything is okay and normal. That's what I would suggest.
Yeah. And if you have a gut feeling that there's something not quite right with your child or या बहुत ही कोई
Yeah, मतलब they वो eye
एक
contact नहीं कर रहे हैं, बात नहीं
yeah,
कर रहे हैं, then you would know.
then reach out. Yep, reach out to your pediatrician. So I always trust a woman, a mother's instinct, but like Eamon said, this is especially for first time mothers. Even I was looking at apps and comparing my child's progress with other kids that I saw at school or daycare or within the community. And I mean, it was a little too much. I realized much later that I was being just a little extra, but it's
Exactly.
good to know and it's good to have that information, but it's not so good to
Follow
worry
everything.
about it all the
Mhm.
time. Yeah.
And follow
Yeah.
every advice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It was a good question. So next I have for you, Umbreen, um, somebody wants to know, how do you set boundaries with toxic people, or how to deal with, especially people you cannot cut off from your life, like they are
Yeah.
close family members, and they keep nagging you about some things, how to set boundaries and how to deal with that.
Yeah. So you'll encounter not so nice people everywhere. Family, friends, colleagues, just people and, sometimes just people in the overall circle that you interact with. I think just by being true to yourself, if you don't like the energy that they're giving off, and I'm a very firm believer of learning and teaching my kids as to who and what feels right. So, if I feel a positive vibe or positive energy, radiating from a person and they're very encouraging, they're happy for your success, they're genuinely sad and upset when you're not doing so well, they reach out in difficult times, those are all green flags, right? But toxic red flags would be just just not having that level of emotional maturity or having narcissistic tendencies,
It's just general
manipulation.
negative vibes, right? If somebody is not
Yeah,
happy for you, you got something done,
you
like,
know,
yeah.
yeah. And it's usually hard times or difficult times that tell you who the true people, like, who the real people are, living amongst you. So hold on to those. And um, people who are not so kind and not so emotionally mature, I just, I recommend fading them out. So you don't have to emotionally have a dramatic exit or a confrontation, because confront तो सिर्फ उन्हीं लोगों से किया जाता है ना, जो if you feel like अगर मैं किसी के साथ, किसी टॉक्सिक बंदे के साथ या बंदी के साथ में confrontation करूंगी और सामने से I'll just be gaslit कि no, it's all in your head, it's nothing like that, you're overthinking. Or on the other end, they say, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but they keep doing it again and again and again. Then there's no point having confrontation. मैं confrontation सिर्फ उनके लिए reserve रखती हूँ जो मुझे actually लगता है would positively respond and has the emotional maturity to understand. And when I say emotional maturity, I mean emotional quotient. You can be the smartest person on earth, you can be the most educated person on earth, and you can be the dumbest when it comes to understanding emotions, love, and the people around you. अगर आपको emotional quotient नहीं mature कर रहा with your age, then I personally feel I can't get along with those people. And अगर मुझे confront करना भी होगा, or if something's bothering me, I'll just be like, like I don't even interact, right? So, yeah, and I try to not take them personally. I try not to judge them. सबकी growth अपने अलग अलग pace पे होती है, but I think for your own mental peace and sanity, it's good to just fade out or fade them out.
Thank you
If
so
that made any sense. Do you
much.
agree?
Yeah, that's a good advice. I agree. Thank you so much. So let's take one last question. We are already, I think, above our time, and
Yeah.
let's wrap it up.
What is the kindest thing that you've done for yourself this year?
Kindest thing.
I don't know किस category के you what are they referring to, but I guess
Yeah,
as
yeah,
a mom and as a physician, as somebody who wears multiple hats, what is the kindest thing that you've done for yourself? And we're always advocating for self-care.
yeah. So I think kindest thing, I was always um caring for everyone, reaching out to everyone. If everyone is doing okay, everything is okay. Even my close friend, like, not just family, my friends as well. In general, I try to keep contact to know how is everyone doing. But then I realized that this year, that was my New Year resolution too, to focus on
Mm,
me, myself, and my kids only. So I have stopped reaching out. If somebody doesn't call me, or if it doesn't, they don't call me, they never text me, okay, whatever. You can reach out yourself, or you cannot reach out. It's up to you. I am not going to go out of my way just showing care to people who don't even deserve it. My kids need my time because it's very precious. I'm very busy 24/7. And I think my family deserves my time the most. And even myself, even if I'm just resting and lying down in the bed in those 15 minutes, that's worth it. It's for my mental peace. Focus on yourself. Do care. I'm not saying, don't reach out to people. Care about people who care about you. I know my mom is going to be there for me, or for example my in-laws, close in-laws, or just close friends like Ambreen. I know they care for me genuinely. If I'm not, I'm disappeared for 3 4 days, she would start calling me crazily. Hey, what happened? Are you okay? Where are you? So just genuine people who care for you. I think that's what I have done.
yeah. And all very good things. And I think Eamon and I both believe in a lot of self care, and we're always advocating for those. So, two things that I like to say before we wrap this up is Eamon, I think after a long time, took a trip by herself to attend my sister's wedding in Toronto. And, I think haters are going to hate, and
Yeah,
we
for
might get
sure.
some
For
feedback
sure.
on this particular statement, but I
Yeah.
mean, whatever makes you
If
feel
you're
better, right? I'm all about going out with the girls
yeah,
and
a
having a fun
healthy
time.
woman or a happy, healthy individual can make others happy too. Your kids will be more happy if you are mentally sane.
Yeah.
So just
Everybody needs a breather.
and
I
even
think
your
everybody
aeroplane,
need
Nabina,
even your kids need a breather from you.
no,
Like
even when you're
everybody
sitting
needs
in
a
the
breather.
aeroplane, they tell you that, if there is a case of emergency and you are
Bilkul.
crashing,
Yeah,
put your mask first and then the kid.
right.
So if you are not breathing well, you
Yeah.
cannot fix the
If you
child.
feel like, exactly. And if you feel like you're burnt out, go on a trip, take 2 days off. Nothing's going to happen to your kid as long as you've made sure that somebody else is taking care of it.
But yeah, focus on yourself.
Yeah. And then the other thing is, for me, self care is जब बच्चे सो जाते हैं, तो for 10-15 minutes, I like to read. No screen time. An old book and the smell of an old book in my hands. Spastar hota, but that is for me, and I believe in everyday self care. अगर आपसे ट्रिप्स नहीं लिए जाते और if your schedule is very busy, तो आप at least 10-15
With
minutes
this economy, nobody can afford multiple trips
yeah,
too. So that's
yeah,
fine. Just take a walk outside in the nature.
बिल्कुल, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
अभी daylight savings खत्म हो गई, right? So you know अंधेरा जल्दी हो जाता है, तो all the more need for us to get out when it's actually warm and nice and get a walk and take a walk.
Yeah. Sounds, yes, definitely. Okay, so I think we are already above time. And whatever questions are left, Inshallah, we'll cover them some other time, some other episode. और next episode का हम topic release कर देंगे very soon. We deliberately released this episode late because we wanted it to come out on Thanksgiving so most people can watch it. So thank you for watching. Bye from me, and then Amreen can say the closing remarks.
Thank you. And, thank you for sharing all your questions. We hoped that we covered a few topics. And, even though we're not, we may not do this exact format the next month, you can always just send us questions. I love hearing from everybody. And so does Eamon. I'm always responding to somebody almost every day. I love talking to all of you, except the people who ask me repeatedly what they should do if they need a shot for a rabies vaccine. I don't know, why would you ask me that on Instagram? I could go see a physician.
Okay. Okay. We'll see you next time. Thank you for your time.
Bye bye.
Bye.